Hi, my name is Vasko Popovic. I'm a holistic health coach and I teach my clients to be the best they can be. Today I'm going to talk about stress, which always represents a starting point in anything I do. I always start my programs, teaching my programs or delivering through the workshops or different modes of the trainings that I perform with my clients, depending on how we agree that. And what I'm going to do, basically, because of the length of the whole issue, I'm going to split into 5 separate videos. In this particular video, which is going to last around about 5 to 6 minutes, hopefully not longer, I'm going to talk about the basics of stress and also how to observe and detect stress. So basically, I would always like to start with this question. Is your life out of balance? Do you do something really so much that basically you're only focusing on that 1 or 2 or 3 things, and maybe you neglect many other things that you need to be really focusing on as well in your life in order to be fulfilled and happy? Well, if you do, you're not alone. And the reason for that is because even myself, I know all about this. I still catch myself over-focusing on some things in my life, and then I'm missing out on the others, and that creates the kind of imbalance. But because I know that, I can actually deal with it straight away. I can correct it, and I can see what I'm missing, what I'm actually doing over too much, and then I can start seeing what I'm not doing at all, or what I'm doing a little less than I should be doing, and I'm always trying to compensate and find a balance in my life. So basically, what is the common denominator that literally grand majority of my customers or clients that I'm working with have? That is that they are basically focusing too much of their life's energy and their attention onto their work, which means they're spending too many hours and working way too hard on whatever they're doing, whether in the private businesses or in their sort of professional jobs and roles. And in so doing, they're depleting themselves literally to the point of exhaustion. In so doing, they are neglecting many parts of their lives which are equally important. And there are so many of them that I do not have the time to go into detail, but all I will say is that they are important in order to be able to be addressed and make you feel happy, successful and fulfilled. So, let's assume, an example, that you're working too hard. That's good, because you're fulfilling one part of yourself, which is your need to be successful. But in order for us to be successful, we must balance everything else in our lives in order to be fulfilled and happy. Because without those 2 components, we are not going to be successful in the sense that we measure success. Because success in itself is not only I will achieve my objective of, let's say, building my company to a certain level where I can either sell it or I can then start taking more holidays. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, because even when you reach your objective to lead your company to a certain level, or you made enough money that you want to have a holiday or do something like that, because you've overcompensated and become a part of your life, you will then find it very difficult to take some time off, if you haven't done it before, to be able to do something else, because it's not really in your psyche anymore. You've actually programmed yourself to do something else. And that being the case, you will not notice that you're missing so many things which your unconscious mind is telling you that you should really focus on. And in so doing, you're stretching your being to the point where you are starting to lose yourself. These are normally extreme cases. But nevertheless, stress is an indicator that you're not paying enough attention to your overall needs, which I already explained, and you're compensating with certain activities which you think are important for you, but in fact they are important, but you're neglecting other important parts as well. So, in order to address all that is, you need to realize that whatever is important for you has to be balanced with other important things, because when you manage them all together, you are going to be successful in everything you do. But the question is, you need to understand everything what makes you happy. And this is the ultimate point of this presentation, which is going to be point 5, achieving happiness, in which you will then have that blend of fulfillment, happiness and success. The most important part that sort of a lot of people do not really understand is the when faced with stress is. Stress is nothing but the actual sort of psychological program that's been inhibited in us or written at our subcellular level in order to help us deal with the life-threatening situations. That means that we are programmed to deal with something physically, which could be either face the danger by going straight into it and fight it, or if you see that you're not a match for the situation that you are actually facing, you will then retreat and run away from that. Both of these situations are physical. That means you are going to engage into it using whole your body and all your muscles and literally every part of yourself, meaning you are conditioning yourself to face it with either sort of the sheer force to do it, or you're running from it by being motivated by fear. In so doing, you engage in a physiology that helps you to achieve both objectives. Since it's impossible to do that when you are stressed in a modern case scenario, because when you're stressed at work, because you have this inner inconsistency, or if you're sat in the traffic late to be in work or late for the meeting or something like that, which means you are actually focusing on the things that you cannot control, you're getting stressed. Now, all the indicators, both physiological, which is your body and how your body responds to that, is getting you ready to do something for it physically, and psychologically, where you are either being forthcoming or you are retreating. In this case, you're stationary. So you're building this energy inside you, which is not released and cannot be released by you taking a physical action. You're stationary. As that being the case, that energy stays within you and accumulates. The more you do this, the more you build these situations which you identify as stressful. If that energy is not properly channeled outside of your being, both your energetic field and your physical being, that energy is going to cause you, over a period of time, stressful symptoms, which could be many. Normally there with the diarrhea or headaches or sort of any other possible dysfunctional weaknesses that you have, weak and ill thoughts, feelings, and so on and so forth. And over a period of time, that is going to cause disconnection from within, and that is going to make you ill. So, the most important thing in all that is to realize is two things. You always need to be focusing on what you can control. If you cannot control something, because it's out of your scope, or what you can do physically about it, like you're sitting in a traffic and you're late for work, whether you go into the beast mode and you rage and whatever you do about it, that's fine, you can do that. Or you sit quietly and you're steaming over it. There's only one outcome. You're going to damage yourself. You're not going to change anything about it. But if you choose to be calm and say to yourself, I'm into where I am now, I'm not guilty about this, I'm nothing to make this happen, and I cannot control it. All I can control is to drive this car safely to the point where I'm going now. And I will then explain why I am being late. And next time you shall learn from this that you either take a different route or do whatever is different, which you can then control to ensure that the particular situation does not repeat itself again. Another thing which is equally important is that stressful situations are normally identified with you being younger self, meaning if a certain situation has raised your fearful response, which normally equates to stress, that could be that situation is linked to something that you subconsciously remember from your past, from your younger self, when you didn't have enough skill, knowledge and mental resilience to deal with a particular situation effectively. But that doesn't mean that a similar situation you face now to the one you had in your past is the burden and the problem that it was then. Because over the time you learned, you evolved. And in order for you to be able to address that, there is a technique which is basically the first step in sort of called dealing with stress, is to start the process of physical and mental relaxation. When you start doing that, then you will see two things. First of all, you will understand what you can control, what you cannot control, and also you will then realize and start analyzing exactly what is happening to you. That's something I normally do in my sort of classes and my PE teaching and so on and so forth. But that is the kind of a good way in order to address stress resolutely, so that you're not suffering from the same or similar symptoms over and over and over again. Which means, yes, you're stressed at whatever, you know what the symptom is and you know how to deal with a particular symptom. There's something else again, you work the same principle, and that, so from that point of view, you then become more resilient to stress. This will be for this particular video. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the mental side, how to achieve the physical and the mental levels of stress. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.